Hello, everyone. Brenda Joe and Cheryl are in the house. Hello. Sorry I was a little late. I discovered that my audio and playback issues were StreamYard. Figured it out. So I came in here tonight. I was in like 5 minutes early and I realized my mic wasn't working. Well, I had to reboot StreamYard and now everything's working good. So hopefully we won't have any issues for tonight's stream. Well, I hope everybody's doing good tonight. We are going to be talking about a case that is 2 years old, but actually going on 3 years old, but actually just going to trial. So, and it's going to trial this month. So I thought it was kind of convenient to look into it and talk about it a little bit. It's really, really sad. The girl's name is Jasmine Pace. And let me share with you what Jasmine looks like. This is one of her pictures. 22-year-old college student. It's another picture of her. Just young girl, It's really sad, guys. Let me get my information up here. So, Jasmine was born on May 29th in the year 2000. Get this, guys, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I think there's a lot of crime in Tennessee. What do you think? Her family and her friends nicknamed her Jazzy. I think that's cute. So, her mother is Katrina Pace and her stepfather is Scott Bean. Her father is Travis Pace, her biological father. She had 4 siblings, Travis, Gabby, Enoch, and Aiden. And Travis passed away at the age of 14. She attended Red Bank High School and Chattanooga State Tech College. Her family and friends described her as enthusiastic, sincere, and kind, and said she loved animals. She had 4 cats. She was last seen on November 22nd, 2022, and she lost her life when she was only 22 years old, guys. So we're going to find out a little bit about what happened to Jasmine. Okay. I'm going to quickly show you a picture. Share my screen with you. This one. That's her right there. Just young, full of life, 22-year-old, right? Just really sad. I turned off the music because I'll get docked on YouTube for it, but you get the picture. On a yacht and having some fun with friends and family. So, just really sad, right? Let me look here. So, Jasmine met Jason Chen on a dating app in 2022. Jason was born on September 11th of 2000. He lived in the North Shore area and graduated from Nolensville High School. And in 2022, he was a college student at the University in Tennessee in Chattanooga studying computer science. They had only been dating for a few months when she went missing. Former classmates said that he had a reputation of impersonating other students online. His personality is just very off, He's not very good at social cues and things like that, said a middle school classmate. A university classmate said he just kind of gave off this really weird vibe. He just kind of unsettled people with just like how he behaved. And that's the same kind of vibe that Brian Koberger gave. The people said Brian Koberger gave. Kind of weird, isn't it? So it seems like people were discovering, maybe a little bit of a pattern here that people with who aren't good at social cues, I don't know, could have a tendency. I mean, I hate to put everybody in that boat. I'm just saying that there's two people that we know of, and we probably could find more if we really searched. A former roommate, Ryan Barrett, said that he locked his bedroom door and slept with one eye open because Jason made him feel so uncomfortable. He said Jason's behavior could include mood swings, aggressive behavior, or other concerning actions that led him to feel unsafe. Weird, right? Look here. So on Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022, Jasmine was seen on surveillance leaving her parents' home at 11:27 p.m. At 11:43 p.m., she arrived at Jason's apartment. By 2:15 a.m. on November 23rd, neighbors said they heard a woman screaming from the apartment. At 2:18 a.m., Jasmine shared her location with her mom via text message. At 2:54 p.m., Jason Chen is seen on surveillance footage leaving his apartment wearing a mask and had a black cloth wrapped around his hand. At 1:41, he is seen on surveillance video buying peroxide and bandages at the Walgreens at 110 North Market Street. At 7:03, he is seen buying rubbing alcohol, more peroxide, and paper towels at Market Street. Kind of, I don't know, scary. At 8:26, he is seen on surveillance video leaving 110 Tremont Street, which was where his apartment was. At 8:27 p.m., Jasmine's car is driven to the Signal View Apartments on 900 Mountain Creek Road. At 8:30 p.m., Jazzy's car is seen on surveillance camera being driven by someone matching Jason's outfit. So on Thursday, November 24th, Jasmine's family were excited to see her for Thanksgiving. Her mom got a text from Jasmine saying that she was going to meet a friend in South Carolina. However, this friend later confirmed that there were no plans made and that she lives in Kentucky, not South Carolina. Family thought she might have left town to grieve the death of a relative. So on Saturday, November 26th, at 6:52 p.m. on November 26th, a post was uploaded to Jasmine's Facebook account. Remember, Jason had a reputation of impersonating others online. His high school classmates had said that. And her family does not believe she made the post. Jasmine's mother was very worried and tracked Jasmine's car, a 2021 Chevy Equinox, using My Chevy app at Signal View Apartments. Gabby Pace said when she looked in Jasmine's car at the parking lot, it didn't look like Jasmine's car. It was so clean. At 7:10 a.m., she immediately called 911 to report her missing. Jasmine's mother, desperate to find her daughter, had heard from neighbors that they had heard screams coming from the apartment. And this is where things kind of go funky. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Hello, K9. Good to see you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because we're going to read an article about her. Tennessee college student was allegedly, 60 times placed into suitcase by boyfriend. The days after she was reported missing, the remains of 22-year-old Jasmine Pace were discovered in a suitcase along the side of a road. The Tennessee man accused of first-degree unaliving in connection with the death of his girlfriend allegedly, ST'd her dozens of times while she was handcuffed before putting her body in a trash bag and placing her in a suitcase, police say, according to multiple reports. According to WRCB-TV, citing police in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 22-year-old Jason Chen allegedly bound 22-year-old Jasmine Pace's ankles to her right wrist and then stabbed, her 60 times. Authorities were first alerted to Jazzy's disappearance on November 26 after her parents said they had not seen her in 4 days. According to WTVC TV, investigators were led to Chen's apartment, where bloodstains in several rooms and newly purchased cleaning supplies were allegedly discovered, as well as Pace's driver's license and credit card. He was tracked down to his family's Knowlesville, Tennessee home about 3 hours away, where he was arrested November 29th. On December 1st, authorities recovered the suitcase containing Jazzy's remains along a Chattanooga road. The fact that I have to say the word garbage bag and package when we're dealing with a 23-year-old young woman who has friends and family who care about her is heinous, District Attorney Cody Wemp said. Jail records indicate Chen is being held on a $5 million bond. It was unclear if he entered a plea to the charge, and Chen's attorney, Joshua Weiss, did not immediately respond. Okay. We'll get into more recent things in just a second here. Because there's a little bit more that went on. So the mother of Jasmine Pace says she went into the apartment of Jason Chen 3 times and took items. The mother of Jasmine testified Monday that she went 3 different times into the apartment of Jason Chen, who is charged with criminal in the case. Katrina Pace, at a suppression hearing before a criminal court, Judge Boyd Patterson said she took items belonging to Chen, including several electronic devices and a group of notebooks. She said the devices included phones, tablets, an iPad, and a video gaming system, and the notebooks held Chains Bank records and tax returns, among other information. Miss Pace said she was desperate to find her missing daughter and felt she was not going to get any help from police. She said it was all my desperate attempt to find my daughter, whatever I had to do. On all the items taken, she said she was looking for clues on Jasmine's whereabouts. The defense is seeking to rule out certain evidence due to the actions of the mother and other family members. And see, that's the problem when family, takes things into their own hands, right, guys? I mean, they shouldn't be doing that. I know. He definitely is an animal. No doubt about it. But I understand, she said that the police officer didn't seem like he cared when he showed up because she got the ping, the text with the location, and they had knocked on neighbors' doors, her and her the biological dad and her husband, and they were in this apartment complex, and, you know, and then they heard the neighbors say, "Well, we heard screams coming from that apartment," right? So, they entered the apartment. Now, it's not known whether the apartment was open or if they used a credit card or something, um, but they went inside. So, you know, I mean, first of all, you're contaminating evidence. Now the defense wants that information and all that evidence thrown out. You know, I I really hope this guy doesn't get off, guys. You know, I don't get me wrong, I understand the mom's reasoning, right? She was devastated. She was looking for her daughter. Police weren't taking her seriously, right? But you can't take things into your own hands. You just cannot do that. Oh, um, so Jasmine's body was eventually found along Suck Creek Road. What a name of a road. Suck Creek Road. Stuffed in a suitcase, and she had been hit 60 times. Miss Pace said the disappearance of her daughter came around the same time that her grandmother had died around Thanksgiving 2022. She said she became concerned when she did not hear from her daughter and she was not responding to calls or texts. She said it was especially surprising because Jasmine was so close to the grandmother. Miss Pace said she was aware that her daughter was getting to know Chen and had gone on a trip to Chicago with them. She said at the time she did not know where Chen lived. Miss Pace said she had the idea to go to Verizon, buy a new phone, and have them transfer Jasmine's phone information to it. That was very smart on her part. It showed that through the My Chevy app that Jasmine's car was parked at Signal View Apartments on Mountain Creek Road. She said police were called from the parking lot and an officer took a report and said he would pass it along, but he said he could not go with her for further investigation. She said the officer seemed uninterested. The witness said she also reviewed her own phone records and found she had a late night pin drop from her daughter from several days earlier that she had not noticed before. It led her to Chen's apartment at 110 Tremont Street. Miss Pace said she and other family members proceeded there in the middle of the night and were let in by a resident. She said they had no idea which unit was Chen's and they began knocking on doors in the middle of the night, guys. Knocking on doors to ask if anyone had seen Jasmine. The family members included her former husband, Travis Pace, and his girlfriend, daughter Gabby, and friend Wayne Tubbs. She said on the second floor she found a resident who said he had heard next door the voice of a female in distress shouting. He said it was so remarkable that he wrote down a note about it happening at 2:18 a.m. Why didn't he call police, is my question. Miss Pace said she afterward noted that the pin drop from Jasmine came 3 minutes before the man said he heard the frantic shout. Miss Pace said she then went to Chen's unit at 2:10 and the group got inside the locked door. She believes it was through the use of a credit card. When the door was open, the witness said she immediately spotted her daughter's travel bag. She said she searched further and in a desk drawer found Jasmine's driver's license and credit cards. She also told them of seeing cleaning supplies in the apartment. Ms. Pace said as soon as the items were found, the police were called. She said patrol officers responded and took the report, but seemed uninterested. She said the officers briefly looked around the unit, saying they could do a wellness check, but nothing further. So you can kind of understand why she did what she did. Um, But I think if she could go back and think about what she did, she probably wouldn't have done it. She said after the officers left, she went back inside the apartment looking for evidence to find my daughter. She also went back the next morning. At that time, she said at first she waited in the parking area saying she wanted to confront Chen. She said he had lied to her when she called to ask him about Jasmine's whereabouts. Scott Bean, stepfather of the victim, said the family was really worried and police weren't doing anything to find her. He said he did not go initially with the group to the Chen apartment, but he arrived after they were inside. He said, I'm freaking out when I saw her license and credit card. My mind was racing. The witness said it seemed like officers who came to the scene didn't feel like it was a big deal. He said he and Jasmine's mother were looking for answers. We were frantic. We were following every avenue, right? So, um, yeah, yeah. And today during our members live, we took a poll, and everybody wanted me to do other cases because there's really nothing new. Keep in mind, though, guys, that when something does come up with Sebastian, I definitely will jump on and let you guys know what's going on. But yeah, this case kind of struck me because of what the mom did, right? I mean, first of all, it's sad that a 22-year-old person should lose their life, but and the trial's coming up. But the mom going into the boyfriend's apartment and finding all her daughter's stuff, and she didn't do it just once. She did it. She went there 3 times. So, I found that kind of interesting, and we're going to see how it plays out in the trial, right? So Travis Pace, father of Jasmine, said when he got a call from his other daughter saying that Jasmine was missing, he immediately got in his car. He said he went to the scene of where a vehicle was found on Mountain Creek Road. He said they talked to a security guard, but were not allowed to look at footage to see who had dropped off the car. He said they then went to a nearby Waffle House to regroup. He said while sitting there, Miss Pace said, "Oh my God, I have a pin drop from her." He said they then headed for the pin drop address of 110 Tremont. Mr. Pace said the front door to the apartment building was locked, but he got in through the unlocked back door, then let the others in. He joined them in knocking on doors until they learned the location of Chen's unit. Mr. Pace said he lifted the handle and the door opened. He said he told the others to go down the hall while he went inside. He said he turned on the lights and carefully went through the apartment, not knowing if anyone was inside or who might jump out at him. He said when he had gone in, he first saw the travel bag, then he found the license and the credit cards and put them on top of the desk. He then called 911 and stayed on the line until officers arrived. He said one of the officers was rude and disrespectful and immediately began talking over me. He said he became so frustrated with the officer that he walked down the hall. Mr. Pace said that officer will have to live with the fact that he could have made a difference in the search for Jasmine. I agree with them. I understand officers were probably like very upset, right? That these people were in this guy's apartment. I understand that. I get that. But they should have listened to why they were there, right? Gabby Pace said when she looked in Jasmine's car at the parking lot, it didn't look like Jasmine's car. It was so clean. She said the family was not aware of any times Jasmine had to where the car was found. The sister said they were told at the parking lot that the detective would not come out. It was the weekend. The witness said when her mother found the pin drop, her face went white. Attorney Josh Weiss said police who later went to the Chen apartment found a knife on the bed. He said body cam footage from the first two officers at the unit showed the knife was not there at the time of their visit. Huh. Family witnesses denied planting evidence at the scene. They said they did not know at that time that Jasmine had been. I can't think of a different word for that. So, yeah, there's a video now that we can watch. And let's see what.
Chen was back in court today for a motion hearing ahead of his trial date in June. Chen is charged with the murder of 22-year-old Jasmine Pace in 2022. Several of Pace's family members took the stand. We have team coverage from Riley Nagel and Grayson Gordon. We'll begin with Riley, who has testimony from the victim's mother.
Jasmine Pace's mother, Katrina Pace, was questioned thoroughly about her personal investigation efforts to find her daughter after she went missing, a search she says led to Jason Chen's apartment.
It's normal for you to break into other people's apartments?
No.
And it's not normal for you to conduct a search like this?
It's not normal for my daughter to be missing.
Jason Chen's attorney, Josh Weiss, pushed Pace's mother to explain what led her to Chen's apartment on Tremont Street on November 27th.
Did you do anything to Jason Chen's apartment to make it appear incriminating that he had done something?
No.
Katrina Pace broke down the events that took her to Tremont Street, saying Jasmine had texted her location the morning of November 23rd. She says at the time she had no idea it was Jason Chen's apartment.
How did you know to go to apartment 2?
Because his neighbor heard a loud, distressed woman's voice enough to put it on his notepad. And he told me. And he heard that 3 minutes before my daughter sent me a pin drop.
Katrina Pace admitted the door to 210 was locked and Pace's father, Travis, who was also there, forced it open. She says it became obvious to them the apartment belonged to Chen after finding Jasmine's driver's license and personal items, along with cleaning supplies.
What was your reaction when you found your daughter's cards?
I knew it wasn't good.
After contacting police, they were told to leave, and she admitted once law enforcement left the scene, they re-entered the apartment several more times, collecting phones, iPads, and notebooks.
Because he had lied to me. Found my daughter's stuff in his apartment, and I knew he was key to help me find my daughter.
The items she took were eventually turned over to law enforcement a few days after searching Chen's apartment. On November 30th, Chen was detained in Nolensville, Tennessee. The day after, on December 1st, Jasmine's body was found.
And I was sitting there waiting to hear if my daughter was, what state she was in when she was found. That's what I remember next.
Reporting in Chattanooga, I'm Riley Nagel, Local 3 News.
What the weather does this time of year can mean major changes.
Okay. So, red rum, yes. Thank you, Love Matters. I appreciate that. Really sad, huh? I mean, she admitted what she did. They could have faced charges, and yeah, I mean, I guess they still could, right? But I don't know. I hate to think of what could happen. So let me see here. Trying to find the next thing that I wanted to talk about. So on Sunday, November, let me see, 26th to 27th, something like that. Police couldn't locate Jason, but arrived at his apartment with a search warrant. And Jasmine's mom had Jason Chen on the phone for 71 minutes. Once inside, they discovered bloodstains on the living room floor, bathroom grout, bedroom carpet, and blood splatter on the bathroom wall. They also found cleaning supplies and fragments of glass. That sounds awful, guys. And then on the 29th, Jason was arrested, charged with criminal homicide, and he's held in the Williamson County Jail. And on Wednesday, November 30th, District Attorney Cody Womp says first-degree red rum charges will be pursued. After 9 days of extensive searches for her, Jasmine's remains are located off of Suck Creek Road. And just, yeah, awful. The autopsy results were her ankles were handcuffed and shackled to her right arm. She was in fetal position and had rust marks from the wet handcuffs on her ankles, wrist, right thigh, and right arm. She was hit 60 times in her neck, back, and arm. She suffered major damage to her right jugular vein, larynx, right lung, ribs, and other arteries. Part of the knife was found broken off and embedded in her lung. She had many defensive wounds. Most of her injuries were found on her right side, which correlated with Jasmine being bound in the fetal position. She had severe swelling in her brain. Toxicology tests revealed a negative drug screen and a negative blood alcohol screen. Okay. So, very sad. There was a post by a friend of hers. I don't think I'm going to read that one because we don't know what facts there are. But in any case, the family was, they pretty much had to do it all before anything was done in this case, and that's really sad. And it goes back, it makes me start wondering about, remember us talking about how law enforcement is spending so much time on missing persons cases that the crime element in the city is gone by the wayside because they don't have enough resources, right? Anyway, the trial's coming up, and jury selection started January 6, 2025 from Blount County. They will be brought to Chattanooga for the trial, and they'll be sequestered. So the jury is coming from a different county, and they'll be brought to Chattanooga. Opening statements are scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern. Actually, tomorrow. The criminal court judge, Boyd Patterson. The judge declined to throw out evidence obtained when the victim's family went inside Chen's apartment several times and took some items. I'm really happy about that, guys. That makes me happy. I'm glad that they kept that evidence. The ruling also included evidence from body cameras when 3 city police officers did a protective search of apartments at the Lofts at Tremont on the corner of Tremont and Fraser Avenue. District Attorney Cody Womp said despite the favorable ruling, the state does not plan to use any evidence from the protective search. The other prosecutor is Paul Moyle, defense attorney Josh Weiss, Jasmine's mother, Katrina, said he's going to have to face me. Her husband had to hold her back at some of the hearings. Well, that poor woman. Lead detective Zach Crawford said it was the most blood he'd ever seen at a crime scene. And prosecutors will seek a life sentence without the possibility of parole. So there you have it, guys. That is what happened to... Oh, no worries. I agree, Melissa. Hello, Melissa and Ginger. Good to see you guys. You know, look at that beautiful girl. And there's the perpetrator. You know, and when we learned that he had... his social cues weren't good. He gave everybody a weird vibe. Kind of the same as Brian Kohlberger, right? You know, I'm really starting to wonder about mental health status in our country. Well, let's say in the state of Tennessee first. I think it needs to start there. What do you guys think? I'm sorry, I know that's not a laughing matter, but I mean, mental health is a serious problem in the United States. And this is yet another case from Tennessee. Oh, Melissa, I'm so sorry. Well, the good thing is that you can always go back. You've had the flu, okay? No. I used to live there, remember? So, although I didn't drink the water. I always drink bottled water. Oh, Jackie, hello. Seems to be a thing today with connection problems. I'm assuming that the videos and everything went all right tonight, guys. I think I figured it out that it was StreamYard that was causing the problems today. But yeah, another case from Tennessee, guys. And I don't think, I mean, of course we don't know, right? But I don't think I remember ever following a story that the parents actually got to the crime scene before police did and went through it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Right? And you got to wonder what that's going to affect, because they were walking through there and you know, that the responding officer, I think it was, said that there was so much blood. So, you know, what was contaminated, what wasn't, I mean, I don't know. And my question is, did he confess as to where she was? You know, we don't know that, right? But the trial starts tomorrow, so might be interesting. Might be interesting to find out what's going on. And they're going for life without parole. Does Tennessee have the death penalty? I don't even know. I wonder why they're not going for that. if they do. I don't really know. Do you guys know? I can look it up. Gotta love Google. Does Tennessee have the death penalty? Yeah, they do. Became legal again in 1978, so they do. Interesting, right? I wonder why they're not going after the death penalty for Jason Chen. Is it because some of the evidence is tainted? I'm curious as to what he told officers, right? I'm really curious. I'm really curious. And I am in shock that the mother and the father, the stepfather, whoever went there and went into that apartment, I'm curious. I'm surprised they haven't been charged. Maybe police felt bad. I mean, you know, they weren't listening to them, right? So maybe they felt bad that they hadn't done anything and, you know, weren't really listening to these people, weren't taking them seriously, that they felt they had to do it on their own. I don't know. I mean, things could still happen, right? Things could still happen. Not that, you know, they don't need to be going through all of that, right? But yeah, I just feel bad, you know, for them. I really do. Another young girl loses her life. You know, think about the last 2 nights. That's five young people around the same age, right, who've lost their lives that we talked about in just 2 days. You know, what is going on in our world, guys, that this keeps happening? And, you know, is it mental health? What is it? Brian Kohlberger? Yeah, I definitely think it's mental health. Very much so. I mean, this guy, we don't know a whole lot about him. But I'm sure we're going to find out a lot in the trial. So we'll follow that just to see where everything is going. It kind of gives us something else to look forward to. Since the trial is starting, we'll probably be staying on this one to go over it a little bit every night and see that Jazzy gets justice, right? See that Jazzy gets justice. So, yeah, beautiful girl. her boyfriend, we don't know why, but he unalived her by using a knife 60 times. In Chattanooga, Tennessee, young college girl. I'll show you the picture of her again. So this is her right here. Young, beautiful, happy 22-year-old, right? Out on a yacht with family and friends. And this, by the way, guys, is her memorial page. There's a memorial page on Facebook. They held a vigil for her on December 7th of 2022. This was a memorial page for her. And just another picture of her there. So, you know, I love that picture of her. But yeah, just another girl whose life was taken too soon. But the ironic part about this is that her mother and father and stepfather, her mother had gotten a ping with her location, discovered it later. Had she discovered it when she got it, she might have still been too late. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? But, and I'll bet she's just, kicking herself for not seeing it sooner, right? But mother got a ping, and the ping was for the location was at her boyfriend's house on Tremont Street. And they went into the apartment, found their daughter's night bag, credit cards, driver's license in the apartment, and then called police. Well, they had called police before that, but yeah. Yeah, was not that's a situation that I've just not heard of, right? Yeah, definitely. Very much so. Very much so. It's always sad when I see that young people's lives are taken and they've got so much yet life to live, right? And it's just awful. It's just awful. But there it is. There you have it. So, young, brush face and white eyed. So sad. Yeah. It is really sad. And, I'm really surprised that it doesn't seem like many people have covered it, right? Because it's not every case where you see the parents are where the parents actually are at the crime scene before the police, and where the parents have done the actual work, right? They've inserted themselves into the case to actually figure out what happened, and my goodness, you just don't hear that. It's usually, cases like Sebastian where the father's sitting back like, what's going on, and or even the Idaho 4, all the parents found out after the fact. They weren't anywhere near the crime scene, anything like that, right? Although that one's a different case too. I seriously think that one with Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen, that those two know more than what they're saying, in my opinion. Could be wrong, but I think they do. I honestly think they do. As far as the Sebastian Rogers case, nothing new of note that we know as fact, right? I'll just encourage you, if you really want to know the drama that's going on in that case, you won't find it here, but go to X. All you have to do is follow Hong, and you'll see it all. He's kind of like Nick is, so you got to kind of read between the lines on some of his stuff, and then on others you don't. So, but one thing I found out tonight, which never knew, would never do, because I can't even imagine doing that, something like that, but that there's a thing that people pay for subscribers on YouTube. So Granny is old, I guess. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. It's crazy. But it sounds like some people could get themselves into quite a bit of trouble there. I don't know. What are we going to learn next? What other kinds of things are we going to hear about, guys? I just don't know, right? Oh, goodness. So, well, that's really all I have for tonight. I can share our grannyism with you. This is one where you have to kind of think about it a little bit, right? Take that off there. Justice consists not in being neutral between right and wrong, but in finding out the right and upholding it wherever found against the wrong. Teddy Roosevelt. So if you have to think about it, justice consists not in being neutral between right and wrong. So not standing in the middle. You can't be, but finding the right and upholding it, standing for the right wherever found against the wrong. And I like that. I like that because, so many people, the only thing is that some people have a wrong conception of what is right. Right? I mean, think about the Sebastian Rogers case, right? Think about everybody's opinions, right? Right or wrong, or, and everybody is upholding their own version of what is right. Yeah, Cheryl, right? I mean, because everybody thinks they're right. But my question is, do they really think that they're right? Or are they just promoting a narrative? I mean, I don't know. You know, will people promote a narrative even though they know it's wrong? That's another question. See, this grannyism gets you thinking. My right is not someone else's right. Same thing is happening with what is true. Yeah, exactly. So this grannyism gets you thinking. You still end up with sides, don't you? Because Ginger said it perfectly. My right is not somebody else's right. Right? So, yeah, it's kind of a conundrum. But I know as for me, I'm always going to stand for what I believe is right and uphold it. You know, I've never really wavered like in my belief in many of the cases, right? Sebastian Rogers, I stand with Seth. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I didn't come to that decision right away, right? It took a while to get there. Exactly, Jackie. Some could for the dollars. Yeah. Yeah. They could. But yeah, so I'm always going to stand for what I believe to be right. Does it mean I could be wrong? Yes, I suppose it does. Jason Chen, I believe, is guilty. We don't know all the evidence against him yet, though, do we? And he's considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And yes, Seth does have real emotions. His emotions are true. And for those of you that were on the members live today, watching Hope talk about Kayla Berg, that was a real mother, right? Juicy Jules, you lived on Tremont Street in Colorado. Gotcha. Well, this is Tremont in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tennessee. The law of society is supposed to define what is right, but does it in our justice system when some get away with what is wrong. Exactly. Exactly. It's yeah, the justice system it's tough. It's tough. And I know that everybody deserves the right to a lawyer. But I am going to say this. There are some defense lawyers that go too far. Okay? I know that they're supposed to believe, that their client is innocent, blah 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 blah. Guys, do you honestly believe that every defense lawyer believes that their client is innocent? Because I don't. I do not. You know, there's Ann Taylor, for example. I think she is a really good defense lawyer, but I think that she may go a little bit too far. I don't know. That trial is going to be interesting, I think, when that one comes in August. So, right, Jackie, you don't believe it either. I don't think so. And I think sometimes they just go too far to try to get their clients off, and that's when some people get away with what is wrong, like Ginger said, right? When some get away with what is wrong, or they get off on a technicality because some piece of evidence was left out of the trial that was critical to the case, but because of some stupid rule or something, the jury never got to see it and they let him off, right? So yeah, that can really be tough, I think. It can really be tough. But gives you something to think about. So that's all I have for tonight, guys. Tomorrow we're probably gonna go over what happened in the trial for Jason Chen, right? Starts tomorrow, and let's see, what did it say? Look it up again. So let's see. Statement scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern, so that's 9 a.m. tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be televised, but I'll have to check. So I'm sure it'll be in the news either way, and we'll go over that tomorrow night. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you all being here tonight. Hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.